Welcome to the American Academy of Grief Counseling's video on journaling and grief. And in this video, we're going to look at the importance that journaling plays in recovering and adjusting to the actual grief loss. So it's an important instrument in healing. Now, when we express emotion, we begin to better understand it. It's when emotion is repressed that complications within the grieving trajectory can occur. So, journaling's primary goal is to express emotion in a constructive and emotional way. And writing is a great way to do this. Now, if writing is not one's thing, there's other ways to artistically express. Scrapbooking is an excellent way to create images of the past and to express feeling, and a variety of other ways where poetry can come into play. But journaling in itself is a consistent behavior of writing about one's feelings on a consistent basis regarding a particular thing or loss. So it definitely allows one to acknowledge issues. It allows one to cope with grief and loss in a very productive way. It is a way that allows one not only to express how they feel, but for those who are more private and have busier schedules, it allows them to do so in a flexible but private way as well. So, writing or any creative endeavor provides emotional growth and a way also to chart progress. It allows one to find clarity and expression and understanding of one's own feelings. So, when writing a journal, one can go back a few weeks and see what they wrote, and they can understand how they were feeling in that particular moment. They can also see maybe various pathological views that they might have held. Maybe they felt guilt for a particular thing that they shouldn't have. And then when they reread it, or they see it on paper, and they are then better able to diagnose it as something that maybe isn't that healthy to have, or to maybe understand why they felt that particular way. Now, journaling and scrapbooking in particular are also important ways to maintain bonds with the deceased. You can preserve various memories and create legacies and create memorials for the deceased. So this is a great way to find meaning in loss and to also reconnect from the past to the present and forward into the future itself. So this is a very, very important tool. Now, in counseling, many counselors will call for therapeutic writing, especially in CBT, or what we refer to as cognitive behavioral therapy. So journaling in studies shows that it helps individuals cope with loss within the first 6 months. And by the years 1 or 2 within the loss itself, individuals are better able to adjust to the loss in a healthy way instead of inheriting maladaptive coping strategies for the loss. The journaling becomes their new coping mechanism in itself. And within counseling, an individual can be given various homework to go forth and to write about their feelings. And through CBT, begin to reframe certain ways of thinking about the loss, maybe certain things that are not helpful, that are in fact harmful, and to be able to witness and see these thoughts and to correct them. So, through journaling and therapeutic writing, especially under the guidance of a counselor through CBT, one can understand their own grief narrative. It also helps the counselor understand the client's grief narrative. And it also allows the individual on a daily basis to answer various emotions that may come forth during the early phases of grief, whether it's guilt, anger. There can be various prompts that can be given by the counselor to use. Say, how do you feel today? Could be a prompt. Or when this happens, how do I feel? So giving the client, the griever, various ways to start a paragraph can give them ways and structure at first to better be able to journal and write. And then as time goes on, the training wheels can be taken off, the prompts removed, and the individual can go into their own way of beginning a particular writing session. So this in turn gives more flexibility, privacy, and freedom that allows the individual to self-express oneself. And in turn, it becomes a great tool for healing. So I strongly encourage, when experiencing severe loss and grief, to express yourself. It's when expression is restrained and confined that complications arise in the grieving process. Throughout the entire process, take time to write. Give yourself some control. Give yourself an ability to express and hear your own thoughts, to be able to cognitively reframe the loss and understand it. And as stated, also through artistic scrapbooking or memorials, to be able to maintain that bond in a healthy way, to remember. And these are all ways that we can cope and grieve in far more healthy ways. And this is why journaling is one of my favorite ways to express grief, and also one of the best ways that I encourage others to utilize in their grieving process itself. AIHCP, or the American Academy of Grief Counseling, offers a grief counseling certification. Below is the link. The email is info@aihcp.org, and our phone number is 330-652-7776. So if you're grieving, please consider utilizing journaling. And if you're a grief counselor, definitely use it as a resource to help your client be able to better express and work through their particular grief. I'd like to thank you for listening, and have a good day.